This episode is a little different. Get ready for some goodies, XJ7. Here we go! His name? No one. These are two sentence horror stories off the deep dark web, which is the internet as a whole to me. A vile place. Who uses this stuff? It's full of perverse oddities and awkward geeks. Anyway, here's what I found, written by others. In space, nobody can hear you scream. Well, except for me, of course. I'm just dying to be skinny like the pretty girls. It's taken an hour to cut off 10 pounds. Hopefully, I'll have the remaining 50 done by morning. Cupid's arrow struck deeply, and I knew no matter what, I had to have more of her. The needle pulled back from my arm, and the man laughed. I told you you'd fall helplessly in love with this stuff. Swimming as hard as I could towards the surface, I realized my miscalculation instantly. The air burned as I regretfully fell towards the carpet, thinking, maybe the bowl wasn't so bad after all. That's absurd. How can Honky Donk's Chicken Shack run out of chicken? The nervous client asked. As he noticed the butcher approaching him from behind, he realized it was never chicken. As long as the man walked, the babies had to fear being eaten. As I opened a box of my favorite snacks, I never realized I had bought the almond version, but they were still good nonetheless. Until I realized the package didn't say almond, and I noticed a small hole in the bottom of the package. I looked around, only to see the curtains and the kitchen splattered in blood. Then I reminded myself, at least it's Mom's, not yours. No, please, no, stop! But he couldn't hear me. All I could do was watch as he aimed the gun at our newborn baby. Cupid's arrow struck deeply, and with deadly accuracy as I screamed, now splashed with her blood. She's too young for love, I sobbed as I held my daughter's limp body in my arms. They begged for forgiveness. Their words meant nothing to me. A stormy night, against the glass, the tap of tiny specks of hail. I looked and found it was in fact the tap of tiny fingernails. In a cold sweat, I awoke from a nightmare that I was falling into an endless hole. Upon opening my eyes, I realized that I was falling into an endless hole. Sandra ran through the woods, the sun streaming across her face and a gentle cold bite of the air in her lungs. A gunshot echoed through the trees, and a man shouted, "That's a minute! Get her, boys!" The exorcist looked regretfully at the couple, saying, I'm afraid I can't do anything here. The ghost of the previous exorcist already knew all his tricks. Perhaps my date should have struck me as odd when he immediately described me as his perfect match. But once he had caked my head in red clay of phosphorus sulfide and potassium chloride, he struck me. Please read these sentences carefully. Otherwise the spell will not work. Because a demonic curse has trapped my soul within these words, and I desperately want you to come join me. I ran out of red color, Daddy. Don't worry, son. You are never out of red, I said while reaching for the knife. My youngest came into the kitchen, screaming and crying that Jimmy's python had escaped again. But considering it's over 20 feet long now, I didn't expect it would be hard to find. As I yelled at Jimmy to wake up and get his butt out of bed, I noticed the lump under the covers just didn't look right. I know you can't see them, but that doesn't stop them from being real. One is smiling inches from your face and staring into your eyes with its large black pupils. The 70% of the mondial population is finally vaccinated against the most common illnesses, but in other news, 70% of the population is now sterile. Daddy, my room is starting to smell really bad. Why did you leave me here instead of putting me in the ground like you did with Mommy? My husband and I, at first, were excited to find out we were expecting. That quickly went away as someone reported it. We were both imprisoned for unauthorized or unapproved mating, and the baby was terminated. She kept trying to breastfeed her baby. The nurses and doctors could only stare in horror and awe as the bodiless head began to suckle. For the past week, I've been trying to keep a log of how long my nightmares are lasting. The funny thing is, I've looked at every watch and clock I own and can't seem to make out the time. It's that time of the month again, and she has blood on her pants yet again. I thought we locked her in the cage securely for the full moon. And over here is Vlad III, born 1431, died 1476, and was finally killed in 1997. In Malay belief, if you saw a ghost near you, that means the ghost is far away, and vice versa. I saw it standing across the building 3 blocks away from me. My infant son was baptized this week, as was commanded. He's now, and forever, under Satan's care. I'll do just as you ask, I said to the voice in my head. But then again, I didn't expect him to make me kill those 5 toddlers, even when I begged him various times to stop me from doing it. When you've been alone as long as I have, you know when something starts watching you. The hills have eyes, and I am in the valley. I wish everyone I love would come together and make me happy. The mangled creature with its one good arm crawled towards me as I realized the bodies of all my loved ones were grotesquely merged into a blob of flesh. I woke up blearily holding a cup of coffee, then started to scream. This time she had grafted us together as a coffee table. The captain, unable to resist the siren song, was leading the ship right onto the rocks. He was the only one hearing the song, though. Everyone else on this cruise liner was sane. "Do I make you feel uncomfortable?" she said. I did as if I didn't know. I acted as if I didn't know what she was saying. You hacked my friend to death with a sledgehammer in front of his family yesterday. Why wouldn't I be uncomfortable? While playing hide-and-seek, my dad always hiding behind the curtain, but I never once see his shadow behind it. Man, I wish this amusement park was more exciting, I huffed while sitting in the Wonderview sky cars overlooking Magic Friend's fun park. As the cart suddenly shook and I heard metal snapping, the park's motto flashed through my head: "Where your wishes come true." I couldn't wait to come home from my psychiatrist's office and tell my wife and children about the medication I finally got for my psychosis. Or, as my kids knew it, my anger issues. When I returned home to find each of them in their beds with a bullet in their head, the memories of last night began flooding back. I just had a vivid dream that I lost all my teeth. When I woke up, they were still there. So whose teeth are scattered all around me on my bed? Often, under the dark of night, I go out to explore. The chambers are empty, the hallways bare. The doors lead to everlasting loneliness, and I have no idea how to leave. As I limped my way to the edge of the cliff, the arrow in my back wedged its way further into my heart. My secret was safe at last. I stared at my daughter in the eyes and smiled at her. I thought it was weird, however, since both her and I had died and been reanimated inside of animatronics, even the one I had created myself. I wept as I told her, "I love you," one last time while holding her cold hands. Then I took her hand out of the fridge to thaw it. I've been sucking on coins like boiled sweets, swallowing them like pills, only because it's currently unsafe to drink a fancy glass of blood during this trying time. Dying without losing your virginity is a fear to some people. You do not have to worry about it if you end up with me. As a child, I would always look out the window to see if there were any serial killers. It seems ironic now that the roles are reversed. They say our loved ones never really leave us, even in death. As I firmly sewed the incision on my stomach shut, I felt at peace knowing my mother's heart would always be with me. I searched for my dad in the house. I realized he was buying some milk yesterday. Like and subscribe before I die. And ring the little bell or you will surely go to hell.
Oh, we're telling spooky stories. This is not a spooky story. Oh, there's no way on the couch I can say.
Depends how you look at it. It is kind of spooky.
I guess so.
Wait, that's it? That's the end of the story?